This is State of the Town, a monthly show when we meet with our first Selectman, Mary Glassman, and get caught up on the state of the town. Mary.
Jerry, welcome to you and to SCTV and out there on camera. It's nice to have you in Town Hall.
Thank you. It's good of you to make the time, and things are running too smoothly. They're just humming along. So is there some in the background, maybe some horrible thing?
I hope not. We hope not. But we did pass our budget, so that's great news. Thanks to everyone who came out to vote, we're really excited about that.
Talking about that, and it's like the turnout is so low. And I said, well, yeah, but that's because they're fine with it, you know. I said, of course, that's the dangerous thing, because then it could just take one organized group, minority, but of some size, and everybody else is saying, hey, well, you know, it's great. It's not going to be a problem. I don't need to go. And boom, all of a sudden there you'd be.
Well, that's why we put so much work into the preparation and the presentations of the budget. So we want to hear if folks are in favor or upset with any part of the budget.
It must be frustrating, though. I mean,
Yeah, we didn't get a lot of turnout this year at the public hearings. At the Board of Finance public hearings, we did just get a handful of folks. So it's hard for us to gauge whether folks are happy and that's why they're not coming, or if folks aren't happy and that's why they're not coming. So you're right. But we are reaching out, and the budget's passed, so obviously, and they passed by a good margin. Yeah. So, we're thrilled. We now shift into ending the fiscal year mode. We shift into fun things like parks and recreation and concerts and programs.
What are we going to do with all the excess money that was left over? It goes to the general fund? What?
I was thinking, where's the extra money? But we actually, on the town side, have returned significant funds to the general fund every year. And
more than $10?
More than $10. We returned about $100,000 last year. Yeah. We do that because we use 5-year rolling averages for different commodities. We use it for our sand and our salt, and even given a lot of our storms, we in the past haven't used. Last year didn't use as much in our salt account, so we were able to return those funds to the taxpayers where they belong. Okay. And so now we're ending the fiscal year. We're getting ready for a statewide disaster drill. I know it's hard for folks to think about that,
but that's quite timely. I mean, given poor, more Oklahoma.
Absolutely. It's a tragedy that, the natural disasters and the loss of lives. But my job as first selectman is to protect the public health and safety of our residents. It's also my job to call,
really?
declare. You okay? You healthy?
Thanks, Mary.
It's my job to declare a state of emergency. So we have a great team in town of the Public Safety Subcommittee, and we have Emergency Preparedness Director Kevin Kowalski, who everyone knows with the Fire Department, and our Police Chief, Peter Ingvartson. And we always...
He was looking pretty smart.
He's great. He did look great. They all look great.
Hey, Peter, I know you don't watch these things, but maybe somebody will tell you. I was thinking, did you wear a girdle in that parade?
Well,
you were looking good, man. No big tummy on you.
So we have, he'll be busy on June 20th. We have our disaster drill. We're participating with the governor at the governor's request. Towns all across Connecticut. We'll be opening our emergency operations center at 8 a.m. and we'll be monitoring it June 20th. So it's practicing a disaster. So the state will give us a disaster scenario that morning.
Surprise disaster.
Mm-hmm. And then we'll have to activate and respond to that disaster.
This is not like the one where they used to have volunteers with red food dye on them.
Well, are some drills that actually are mock drills. This one is a tabletop exercise. So this is just assembling our team and responding to the disaster. So, but it's great because it allows us to review our emergency plans, which we do every year, allows us to bring all of our staff together. We have a new highway superintendent, Kevin Clemens, who's just joined us. So give us a chance to bring in our new staff to train them.
Let's talk about him a little bit. What's his job?
Wally McDonald retired after
Wally,
30 years, and he did a great job for a town.
He showed up with a magnetic brick that helped me get my car keys out of a sewer.
There you go.
I mean, the guy, he had an answer for everything. Talk about emergency response.
Well, we were fortunate to fill. We had a number of excellent candidates, and Kevin really was top notch. And we filled that. He was formerly with Simscroft Echo, and so he knows the town. He has experience in highways and paving.
Title was what?
Highway superintendent.
Highway superintendent. But wasn't he something before that, like with wastewater, or did that fall under him too?
No, that's a separate department.
Okay, so I called wastewater to help me get it, and Wally
called Wally. There you go. So we're busy. Wally, no, he's actually still local, and he does spend a lot of time in Vermont. He's a big fisherman and relaxing. So we wish him well. He did.
Thank you, Wally.
So we're moving along. So as part of what we do in June, July, August, we do our disaster training, we do our budgeting wrap-up, and our planning for the next fiscal year. We're paving our roads.
What needs paving?
Well, folks might find this really interesting. We, several years ago when we hired our new Public Works Director, Tom Roy, we put all of our roads on a paving management schedule. We took photographs of each road in town, and we actually ran it through a computer, analyzed the roads, and put it on an annual paving schedule. So we know exactly what roads need to be paved and when. And we just received funding. A lot of our funding comes from the state of Connecticut, and we've started our paving. What folks may not know is that the treatment that we use now is heat scarification, which we actually melt the first layer of the pavement. We churn it up and relay it, and then a few weeks later, after the road has settled, then we add another final layer. So folks may not know the process and may think that the road doesn't really look paved when they get done with that heat scarification process. And we often get calls saying, you just paved my road, but it doesn't look quite right. And that's because it's not finished. So it's a really interesting process. We've just added that process over the last several years. And it seems to be a good way of reusing the existing paving and cleaning up the roads, and it lasts longer. So we're introduced that process.
I remember before you came into office, and we then lived on Talcott Mountain, and that road, East Weetach Street, was so bad. And I had a car that had aluminum alloy. By the end of the winter, I'd had to replace every one of those rims. Now, I didn't know I could have sued the town for it. I sure would have. But you got in. I mean, a lot of roads were like that, and you really...
Well, thank you. We have a great team, and we really keep up on our roads and keep on top of it through this program, because we know when to pave the roads so that it doesn't get so bad that it has to be rebuilt, because that's when you run into trouble. If you let roads go so bad, then the cost of repairing those roads goes up tremendously. So this is a good way of saving taxpayer dollars and really managing our system.
So when you participated in Bike Day, pedaling all over the town, then were you checking out all the roads?
Yes, we check out the road. We actually just finished Bike Month in Simsbury in May. We were fortunate to have Commissioner Esty join us for a bike ride from Town Hall to Stratton Brook Park. We had a great ride. We were able to meet the staff at Stratton Brook Park and are exploring some opportunities for the town and the state to work together to add more programs there. So it was a great opportunity
programs would...
Some joint fishing programs, some joint awareness education programs. So there's some really exciting opportunities to use the state parks in our own towns more than we're utilizing them. Okay. And of course, we're getting busy for the concerts. I hope you bought your ticket to the Hartford Symphony Summer Series or some of our other concerts. If you haven't, it's not too late.
I'll tell you, I'm going to be honest and see. Don't listen to me. You say, well, why would I ever listen to him? The one, I like the old-fashioned ones, and like the first one was always the classical one.
Right.
And I like that. And then the others, I enjoyed, and they were fun. There for a while, though, they got some guest singers that, Lord, I can sing better than a couple of them.
Well, I think this is a good lineup this year. Harry Connick Jr.
He's not bad.
He's not bad. And then Emmylou Harris, supposed to be very good, and Peter Frampton.
Yeah, they're not bad, but they're not with the
No, those are separate. Those are additional concerts.
Those are separate ones.
And for folks interested in going to those concerts, the Performing Arts Board is doing something different this year. Those concerts, you'll not be able to bring in your own picnic baskets. You can only purchase food and beverages at the concert. So we know it's a little different for folks than they're used to coming. You can still bring your own picnic baskets to the symphony concerts, but we don't want anyone to show up and be disappointed that they can't bring.
Wine? Can you bring your own wine, or will wine?
No, only for the symphony concerts. It's picnic available, but for the added concerts, it's nothing brought in. So you have to buy.
They sell wine there.
They sell wine and food and beer there. No.
I'm having a bad day today.
You are.
I just keep offending
Yes.
everybody all the time, but I'm on a roll. So, maybe like one day every 10 years, you should just be like awful.
Well, maybe we should talk about something positive, like Flower Bridge.
Oh, let's talk about the Flower Bridge,
yes.
Because on June 12th, from 4:30 to 7, there will be burgers on the bridge, and there are regular burgers, red meat. There are veggie burgers, there are hot dogs, there are chips. There's a wide assortment of homemade desserts.
Oh, yum.
There are beverages of all sorts, and no, it's not free. And the price hasn't been established yet.
Okay, so we'll show up with our wallets and our appetite.
That's right.
And it's a great fundraiser for the bridge here. That's great.
And, you mingle and you talk to people. And
is this, what year is this one?
This is our 15th year.
15th year of doing...
Of the flowers.
Of the Flower Bridge, but this idea of holding a old-fashioned picnic on the bridge is...
We did a pizza one last year.
That was fun.
We just sort of have started the eat at the bridge kind of thing.
I think it's great. I think it was a great crowd last year. The flowers look great. It's fun to stand out there and look at the kayakers and canoers go by. Great spot.
Deadheading on the bridge is great. The kids on the crew are so great. And at the point that things start trailing over the side net, and if you're out there working, they'll take a break from their stuff and pound their fist and yell yay and all of that. So it's really good.
That is great.
And people have become so much more supportive, and we have a new round of volunteers. But anybody, it doesn't take much when there are a lot of us. We'll teach you how to deadhead. And so you have a little feeling of ownership when you head down there.
And I'll just put a plug in, Jerry, for you as a volunteer, super volunteer with the Flower Bridge and all the volunteers. We are really fortunate, and we talk about volunteerism a lot in Simsbury, but we just honored our newest hometown heroes. So I do want to put a plug in.
List of them,
we had great nominations. So every year for 27 years, the town has honored our hometown heroes, and we wait for nominations from the public. We have a form, and we announce the deadline. And we had a lot of really wonderful volunteers nominated this year, and it was tough for the committee to select the nominees. But they had a great group of honorees. The first one was Sue Messino, who was very active in Keep the Woods and is also now very active in bringing back the Grange in Simsbury. Simsbury Grange had gone through a lot of, I think tough times, and a lot of interest had sort of drifted off, but Sue's bringing back that effort, so congratulations to her. We also had Don and Sally Rieger, who are super volunteers on the environmental side. Sally's been involved in helping us get the designation of our scenic river, and Don has been spearheading the town's advocacy of the Metropolitan District Commission's plan to divert water from the Farmington to Yukon, and he's been a strong advocate for the town and worked with us in bringing together all the Farmington Valley leaders to oppose that plan, and also lobbying Yukon to oppose the plan. So they did a great job.
At the time, I felt like we missed an opportunity, but then, of course, I didn't have enough real information to know. But when the old water company was up for sale, and I know the reason it was things were in bad shape and repairs were going to be needed, and maybe it would have been unaffordable for the town to acquire it. But, I mean, the reality is water is tomorrow's oil.
Yeah, it's so important.
And you think, wow, in those few short years already it's showing up, that people want our water. Although there's something funny about our water. Because, see, I told you, it's a bad thing.
Yeah, well, we'll move right along. I want to, before I forget.
The sprinkler's on, and your car's parked there, and when it stops, you got all these white salty spots on your car.
Well,
they have to take it to the car wash.
There you go.
So what's in our water?
I don't know. I don't know where you're parking your car. But another volunteer is Max Horton, who was honored. So congratulations to Max. He's been a volunteer in helping at the Senior Center prepare tax returns for free, and has helped hundreds of people prepare their tax returns, and has been a volunteer for many, many years. So congratulations to him. We also had Jane Stevenson, who was a library volunteer, and she did a great job with the volunteer fire department, the ladies auxiliary, and has really done tremendous thousands of dollars worth of volunteer work over the years. So congratulations to Jane. And Mary and Bob Gilmore, who have been longtime Simsbury residents and have volunteered again in their church, in their community, at the library. There's been no place that they haven't donated their time. So we're really we're thrilled to honor all of those volunteers.
And did they all receive an equivalent cash award, or was there different amounts going to different ones?
So the town, being as frugal as we are, we put their name on a plaque, and we have that at Town Hall.
All the same size?
So,
no,
all the same size plaque.
Bigger than the other. And what is this? I read, and I know, exactly what it is. We've been talking about the Hartford.
Yes.
And that there is going to be a charrette.
Yes, so we'll be doing a master plan. So one of the other things that we'll do over the summer months is to, we put a request for proposals together to work with design consultants and consultants to help us do a master plan for the Hartford. The Hartford Insurance is paying the bulk of the funding. We're paying only a small portion for us to retain our own consultants. But we had 8 nationally known consultants respond to the RFP. So over the course of June and July, we'll be selecting the consultants and starting to prepare the data and the research. We'll be meeting with stakeholders and holding a public forum in September. So folks should.
I want to get that on my calendar now.
Yes, we'll be once we select a consultant, we'll be setting the timeline up so that we can notify the public. But this is a really important opportunity. There's 172 acres that the Hartford owns. It's 655,000 square foot building. We have tremendous response from consultants who will do everything from analyze traffic, based on different development, to economic analysis, to marketing analysis, to trying to work with us to create an innovation hub or technology niche or whatever we as a community decide that we want to be.
I'd like to get a jump on it, with my idea of the combined senior center and the pole dancing and the club at night.
I know, we've talked about that.
So, I don't want to be unfair, but if, as soon as the consultant is chosen,
we'll have you speak with them.
It'll be posted, and
it will.
could send them illustrations and everything.
And June 10th, I don't know when we'll air. It may be not in time for the June 10th hearing, but the Board of Selectmen will be holding a public forum on the Senior Center and proposed ideas.
Yeah. Were in the finals?
So the final recommendations to the Board of Selectmen have been to retain Eno Hall as our senior center with some improvements, parking improvements, design improvements. That was one option. The second option is to locate the senior center at the Performing Arts Center, which is also in the center of town. And the third option was to move the senior center to the corner of Bushy Hill Road and Stratton Brook Park on town-owned land. So 3 different options, 3 different ideas, good feedback on all of them. We're looking for the public to tell us, should we expand the senior center? Should we not? If we do, where should it go? Would you be willing to go to a senior center? If you're 50 and older, what do you like about a senior center? What don't you like? So we're really looking for feedback, not just from seniors, but from the community as well. We all have to decide as a community what to do and how to plan our future. And so we really want to hear from folks who are seniors, who are going to be seniors, who live in the town. What are our needs?
Do we have, or would it even be appropriate to collect any kind of demographics of who does use the senior center? I mean, I certainly am a senior. I don't have time to go to a senior center.
Yeah, no, that's an excellent question.
SATV.
That's an excellent question.
It's like the exercise classes. I know people who go. It used to be once in a while I'd walk in during their bridge meets. Wow, those things were packed. So
right, we do. We have demographics. We have numbers. The questions that we're going to be asking and hoping to get some feedback. Would you find it interesting to go to a senior center that was strictly for seniors, or would you be more apt to go to a senior center and use a fitness facility if it was mixed generational use? Should we be building a separate senior center, or should we be looking at a combined senior center, community center? All those really important questions, because seniors are changing. We're living longer, we're more active. We have a great active community with a lot of recreational opportunities. Can we incorporate some of those opportunities into the senior center? So are people looking for a place to have lunch, a place to have coffee, or is it strictly for programs and services? And what do we use the senior center for at night? Most senior programming is done during the day. So, what do people want? I think it's really fascinating as we look at our community and plan for the future, how we're using our public spaces, how we're using our library, not just to check out books, but we're finding more folks going there as the community's living room to sit and read or to,
Well, I was going to say the library, I do find, and they do have, and it's actually because our daughter and son-in-law and granddaughter are in Guilford, and we're down there at least once a week, and often we take our granddaughter to the library, and it's very similar, not in its layout, but in its conceptual operation as is ours, which I used to find as unique. But it's great, and they have areas segregated so that there are young kids here. This is more oriented for teenagers. Now they are pretty like nobody over such and such, over 18 in this area. They're a little like that. I accidentally sat in it, but they must have confused me as being a teenager because they didn't ask me to leave. But I know I'm not, because Saturday I woke up with gout. Gout! Oh. Come on, gout! And I thought,
I'm sorry for that.
I am a senior center. No, they have.
But it's interesting perspective, I think, as grandparents using a library, as grandparents using a public space. Well, what's your perspective?
Right. And the other thing I was going to say is we live right across from the school, plus we have neighbors around us who have very young children. Mm-hmm. And our therapy is every night, look at the flowers, walk through, sit out. And the kids, I love, if I'm at home during the day, the sound of the kids at recess, at school. There's such hope in their voice and all. And then when they get closer, then sometimes kids have disagreements and all. Well, I kind of like that too. It brings back memories. But not everybody does. Some people that would be like, look, I do not want to be, for example, exercising in the same place where there are teenagers.
Right.
So that'll be
It'll be very interesting. And I think when senior centers were originally designed, they were designed to also include spaces for computer classes or technology. But we have a great technology center at the library. So that's that's a piece that, do we need to incorporate that into a senior center, or should we use the library as an intergenerational place to meet? And, it'd be very interesting to hear the feedback from the public as to what we want our community to be as we all age and as we all change what our interests are.
There's a program, and it seems like some of it has happened here at different times during the years, but programs, and I don't know who does them, whether it's a school thing or what, where young people, in high school or junior high school actually pair up with a senior through some kind of organization. Once a week they sit and talk about things, or because I remember, you never know it now as much as I talk, but as a kid, a German kid, you were at best to be seen and certainly not heard. And I loved hearing the stories of, 3 generations, all mingling together. Usually on a Sunday afternoon, people would stop by or whatever. And it doesn't seem like we have that anymore.
We've noticed, Jerry, how I think we've asked ourselves, especially since some of the tragedies that have happened, certainly in Newtown, how we could do a better job as a community. And one of the things that we've tried to reach out and say, if you have problems, we have resources in town that people may not know about, social services. We have confidential resources. We also try to work with the schools about how can we get the community to know each other more. And one of the things that's come out of that is there is a lot more of pairing together our students with our seniors. There was just an art show and a dinner at the high school for our seniors put on by the students, and that's initiated by Selectman Lisa Hevner. And those have been wildly popular because there is a need, there is a sense for our community to come together and to share the wisdom and the memories of the seniors with some of our students who may not have grandparents or may have grandparents far away. So we are trying to do that.
Segregational preconceptions of either, oh, that's an old duffer, or, oh, these kids today, it begins to break
and
that
it breaks those barriers, and it gets us talking to each other. I think as a community, that's important.
The barrier of time.
Oh, we go so fast. Good to see you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much. Thank you for tolerating me, and thank all of you. And hopefully we'll see you again next month on State of the Town.
Funding for Simsbury Community Television is provided in part by contributions from viewers like you. Thank you.